Okay, so it looks like she actually missed a few hearings, and that also potentially could have slowed her down in the process of getting this squatter out of her home. Maybe there were opportunities to get this individual out of the house a lot sooner, but you gotta stay on top of these types of things. If you're submitting paperwork and there's a court date that is set, you got to show up. There's no ifs, ands, or maybes. You have to go to these court dates. Otherwise, it's going to prolong this process of getting this alleged squatter out of your home.
First case, Torres wrote a letter to the judge saying he was still trying to buy the house and that his actions were in good faith. In the second case, he claimed the property was abandoned and left vacant by Charlotte and accused her of causing him significant duress and uncertainty.
Even though this person's story changed between court dates, this homeowner still was not there, was not present to be able to push back on these different statements that this alleged squatter is making. What's going on, folks? Eddie Carrington, Mayor of Flux City. Today we're looking at yet another example of a squatter taking advantage of a homeowner trying to sell their house, this time in Florida. But unfortunately, this homeowner made one simple mistake that could have saved her from a world of trouble and headache and hurt. But let's jump right into it.
It was nice until it turned terrible.
A woman trying to sell her home instead had it taken over by someone else who's not paying any rent.
So you're afraid you could lose this house?
Absolutely.
The man she describes as a squatter has been in her home rent-free for more than a year.
And for some reason, she can't get him out. The home is now in foreclosure and the clock is ticking. Jeff, how did she end up in this situation? So many people thinking, why can't she just get the guy out?
Yeah, it's tough. Her fiance had some health issues and it changed their financial situation, so she wanted to sell that home, but now with this guy in the house, she's in jeopardy of losing it.
Charlotte Brown bought the Winter Haven home in 2021. She thought it was the perfect place to raise a family.
Extend your arm away from me.
But when her fiance had health problems, she became his full-time caretaker. Their finances took a hit.
Shout out to this woman. You just never know what life will throw at you. Lovely home, beautiful family, married, the whole nine, right? And then all of a sudden your spouse gets sick and you have to manage your spouse full time to make sure that his well-being is where it needs to be and he's taken care of properly. And she has to pretty much drop everything to make sure that her spouse is okay. Kudos to her for doing what she has to do for her family.
Not wanting to fall further behind on payments and HOA dues, in 2023, she first listed the home for sale.
I just had the opportunity to sell. So that was definitely a plus, especially with the increase in the market.
She quickly found an interested buyer.
So it sounds like she bought it in 2021. Market prices have increased, and she in turn sees an opportunity to profit from the initial purchase of the property back from 2021, which also could help with the daily expenses that she has with regards to covering the care and necessities of her spouse who's currently needing 24-hour assistance.
Bed Torres, a real estate agent from California. Charlotte says a company helping Torres with the deal requested the keys so he could get the carpets cleaned before he moved in. And that's where the problem started. Charlotte says Torres changed title companies a couple of times and the sale never went through.
Wow, so she had a realtor from California as a potential buyer of this home in Florida. And you would assume that he's a legitimate purchaser, right? After doing a little bit of research and maybe he provided the necessary documentation in order for you to feel confident enough that this individual is serious about purchasing this house. And then he requests the keys to the home to clean the carpet before moving in. That is the biggest mistake that this homeowner made by giving them the keys after they requested access to the home in that format. I think that is what is causing the delay of getting this alleged squatter out of this property, because you willingly gave access to this home, even though the property was not fully sold and transferred over to this individual. You still gave them that access via handing them the keys. They can in turn point to that exact moment and say, hey, look, well, the owner gave me the keys to gain access to the property, and so therefore their argument is potentially what is holding back the owner from gaining back access to their property.
She filed a report asking the sheriff's office to investigate, and twice she tried filing court documents to get Torres out of her house, but she admits she didn't understand the process and missed some hearings.
Okay, so it looks like she actually missed a few hearings, and that also potentially could have slowed her down in the process of getting this squatter out of her home. Maybe there were opportunities to get this individual out of the house a lot sooner, but you gotta stay on top of these types of things. If you're submitting paperwork and there's a court date that is set, you got to show up. There's no ifs, ands, or maybes. You have to make sure that you add those dates to your calendar. You do as much as you can in order to figure out how to get to these court dates, whether it be in person. In some scenarios, they offer virtual opportunities for homeowners and defendants, like Zoom, things of that nature. You have to go to these court dates. Otherwise, it's going to prolong this process of getting this alleged squatter out of your home.
First case, Torres wrote a letter to the judge saying he was still trying to buy the house and that his actions were in good faith. In the second case, he claimed the property was abandoned and left vacant by Charlotte and accused her of causing him significant duress and uncertainty.
Even though this person's story changed between court dates, this homeowner still was not present to be able to push back on these different statements that this alleged squatter is making.
When we knocked in September, and again this month,
He has a home sweet home doormat and everything.
we heard dogs barking inside and left a message on the doorbell camera both times.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Power's in his name, internet's in his name. He has a Ring doorbell camera to record everything like it's his house. And yet this homeowner is trying to get this individual out of their home so they can sell it and get their return back to help out with what she's managing with regard to her family and her spouse's health issues. This is sad.
This is Jeff Deal with Channel 9 News.
Obed Torres never responded, but neighbors told Action 9 they've seen him and his family there as recently as last week. Now, Charlotte's mortgage company has filed for foreclosure since she couldn't afford to pay her new rent and keep up with payments on the house. Action 9 asked attorney Mark Lippman to weigh in on the case after seeing how Torres has managed to stay in the home rent-free for more than a year.
Here's the crazy part about this, right? Anybody can go and Google this individual's name, and this is going to come up. And so how valuable is your personal reputation to you? Because this is going to be a stain on this alleged squatter for years to come, for his entire lifetime, his family's entire lifetime. And for you to allegedly take advantage of this homeowner by moving you and your family into this house with your dog as well to get free rent for a year, in comparison to the damage it's going to make and have on your reputation for your entire lifetime, is it really worth it? If you're calling yourself a real estate consultant, who do you think is going to hire you? And again, these claims within this video being made against Torres, they're alleged because he's not convicted of anything as of right now. But once again, this is going to follow him for his entire professional career.
Lippman agreed to help Charlotte at no charge.
His answer was garbage. So the fact that he said that she had abandoned the property is incorrect.
Laws against squatting in Florida got tougher last year, and Lippman is hoping to help Charlotte get Torres out and prove he's squatting in her house.
If you can show that somebody's squatting, you can actually be arrested. It is a criminal offense in Florida now.
I featured a few examples of squatters taking advantage of homeowners in tenant-friendly cities and states, whereas in Florida is really aggressive at prosecuting squatters. However, it looks like this alleged squatter has figured out a way to avoid the full accusation and persecution of claim of being a squatter due to the fact that a few things. The homeowner gave him the keys, one, which you should never do until the potential buyer actually closes on your property, to going to defend himself in court against the landlord for trying to get this individual out of her home and not having the homeowner show up to multiple court dates. Those two things have given this alleged squatter the opportunity to change the narrative to his benefit and to his family's benefit. So I'm really hoping that they can figure out a way to get this guy and his family, who is allegedly squatting in this homeowner's house, out of there, so this homeowner can eventually sell it and hopefully profit from the sale, or maybe even move back in with her family due to the need that maybe she needs more space now that her husband has gotten ill and is not as mobile as he once was. But a pretty unfortunate scenario. Protect yourself as homeowners, landlords, as individuals who are potentially wanting to sell property in the near future. Make sure you don't make those mistakes. Make sure you don't give anybody keys to your site until they actually close. And if there are squatters in your property, show up to the court dates. I'll see you in the next video.